Hello, I Dr. Vijay Chandra Jadala welcomes you to VC Tech Education. Today I am going to discuss regarding data types. Data types are broadly classified into two. One is mutable, another is immutable. Python is a loosely typed language, therefore no need to define the data types of variables. No need to describe variables before using them. Now, the data types as it broadly classified into two, immutable and mutable. Immutable again classified into numbers, strings, tuples, and mutable are classified into lists, dictionaries, and sets. Immutables. If a value has been assigned to a variable that cannot be changed, it is known as immutable. So, data types are broadly classified into two. One is mutable, another is immutable. Immutable is classified into three. One is numbers, strings, tuples. Mutable is classified into three: lists, dictionaries, sets. Immutable is if a value has been assigned to a variable that cannot be changed, it is known as immutable. And immutable has classified into numbers, strings, and tuples. Mutables are classified into lists, dictionaries, and sets. Immutable if a value has been assigned to the variable, if a value has been assigned to the variable that cannot be changed is known as immutable. So data types are broadly classified into two, immutable and mutable. Immutable is classified into again numbers, strings, and tuples. Mutables are classified into lists, dictionaries, and sets. Immutable means if a value has been assigned to a variable that cannot be changed is known as immutable. When it comes to the mutable, if a value has been assigned to a variable that can be changed, assigned to a variable that can be changed, it is known as mutable. So that is the main difference between immutable and mutable. Immutable if a value has been assigned to a variable that can be changed, and immutable if a value has been assigned that cannot be changed. Next comes to integer. So Python supports 5 different numerical types, that is integer data type. Among it is integer, float, and complex. Among integer data types, it is integer, float, and complex. And we can also discuss that int, that is signed integer, We have another one is long, that is long integer, where they can also represented in octal and hexadecimal. Long integer can also represented in octal and hexadecimal. Then float, there is the floating real values. Then complex numbers. So integer, it's int and long int. Integers are of two types, int and long int. That is signed int, and another is long int. Long int that can be represented in octal and hexadecimal. Then float, it is a floating point real value, whereas next is the complex, there is the complex number. When we take the example of float, 3.5 and 6.50 etc. comes under float, and if you can add 2.0 plus 5.7 equal to 7.7, that is also a float. So this is all about the float. Even 6 by 3 equal to 2.0, it is a float. Next comes to the other parts, that is the complex and integer examples we are going to discuss. The complex is with vector notation, that is 3 plus 2j etc. Whereas integer, it's simple, that is example 1, 4 numbers. All the positive and negative numbers including 0 comes under an integer. 1.4 etc. 4 plus 2 equal to 6. 2 into 3, that is 2 to the power of 3 equal to 8. This is all about the integer. Next comes to the complex. Example 3 plus 2j etc. Next is 3 plus 4j plus 1 plus 1j equal to 4 plus 5j. Next comes to 2 plus 2j into 2 equal to 4 plus 4j. This is all about the data type, that is integer data type. It's integer, complex and float. Example 3.5, 6.0. Next comes to the other data type. It is the string. Strings are sequences of one character strings. One character. Strings are sequences of one character. String. Example, sample equal to double quotes or single quote, welcome to Python tutorial. Single quote close, and next sample equal to double quotes, welcome to Python tutorial, double quotes close. Python tutorial, double quotes close. Next, here we can even give multi-line strings that can be denoted by triple quotes. Multi-line strings that can be denoted by triple quotes. They denote by triple quotes. or triple single quotes, or triple double quotes. Sample equal to double quotes, triple quotes. This is don't. Please like, share, subscribe. Okay, so it is multi-line string. Multi-line string is example is shown. So this is all about the Python strings. String in Python are identified as a contiguous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. Python allows for either pair of string, single or double quotes. So Python string are identified as the contiguous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. Python supports different numerical types: int, signed, integer, int, that is long integer. They can be represented in octal or hexadecimal and hexadecimal. Next is float. That is floating point notation. Floating point real values. Then complex numbers. So these all comes under the numerical types, that is int, long, float and complex. Python strings. Python strings are continuous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. Python strings in Python are identified as a continuous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. Continuous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. Next, pair of single or double so these quotation marks will be a single quotation marks or double quotation marks. Next comes to the subset of strings can be taken using the slice operator. Subset of strings can be taken using the slice operators, that is notated in square bracket and in between colon in between square bracket. colon in between square bracket. With the indexes starting at 0 in the beginning of the string and working their way from -1 to the end. The plus sign is the string concatenation operator and the asterisk is the repetition operator. The plus sign is the string concatenation operator and asterisk is the repetition operator. Asterisk is the repetition operator. Next comes to Python's lists. Python list is our next topic. After string, we are going to discuss regarding the lists. Lists are the most versatile of Python's compound data types. A list contains items separated by commas and enclosed within square brackets. Enclosed within square brackets. Once again, Python lists. Lists are the most versatile of Python compound data types. A list contains items separated by commas and enclosed within square brackets. To some extent, the lists are similar to arrays in C. One difference between them is that all the items belonging to the list can be of different data types. The elements in lists can be of different data types. The values stored in a list can be accessed using the slice operator with indexes. List equal to, in double quotes, square brackets, quotes ABCD, 786, 2.23, VC Tech, in single quotes, 70.2. Using slice operator with indexes. Starting at 0 is the beginning of the line and working their way to end. The plus sign is the list concatenation and the asterisk is the repetition operator in list. Now the next topic is the tuples. tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects. Tuples. A tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects. Tuples are sequences just like lists. The difference between tuples and lists are the tuples cannot be changed unlike lists, and tuples use parentheses whereas lists use square brackets. Tuples are same as lists, but the difference is they are they cannot be changed. So tuples cannot be changed, whereas lists can be changed. Where tuple uses the parenthesis, whereas list uses square brackets. So the major differences between tuples and lists we are going to discuss. A tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects. Tuples are sequences just like lists. The difference between tuples and lists are the tuples cannot be changed unlike lists, and tuples use parentheses whereas lists use square brackets. Let's check with example. TUP1 equal to in parenthesis physics chemistry 1997-2000. In single quotes physics, comma, in single quotes chemistry, comma, 1997, comma, 2000. Next tuple 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. TUP3 equal to, in double quotes, A, comma, B, comma, C, and then D. The empty tuple is written as parenthesis containing nothing. To write a tuple containing a single value, you have to include a comma even though there is only one value. Like the string indices, tuple indices starts at 0 and they can be sliced, concatenated, and so on. Next topic here is accessing values in tuple. To access values in tuple, use the square brackets for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain value available at that particular index. So tuples, accessing values in tuples. To access values in tuples, we use the square brackets. for slicing along with the indices, index or indices. Along with the indices, obtain value available at the index. Obtain value available at the index. Once again, tuples, accessing values in tuples. To access values in tuples, use the square bracket for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain value available at the index. Now we are going to discuss regarding the example. Tuple TUP1 there is physics, chemistry and maths. Next, print double quotes. Tab 1 0 colon double quotes close this. Tab 1 of 0. Then regarding the output, TUP1 TUP1 of 0 equal to physics so the index starts from 0. So if we give index 0, the first sentence or the string will be displayed here or considered here. After this topic, the next topic we are going to discuss is Python's dictionary. Each key is separated from the value by the colon. The items are separated by commas and the whole thing is enclosed with curly brackets. An empty dictionary without any items is written with just two curly brackets, like opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. Python dictionary. Every key is separated by its value. Every key is separated by its value. Separated by separated from its value by a colon. Every key is separated by its value from its value by colon. The items are separated by commas and the whole thing is enclosed by curly brackets. The whole thing is enclosed by curly brackets. So This is all about the data dictionary, that is Python dictionary. Before that, we discussed about the tuples, lists. We discussed about tuples and lists, strings and numerics. Example, DICT is mentioned for dictionary. DICT1 equal to opening curly braces in single quotes name colon single quotes VC Tech Education square use age 01. Print in double quotes dictionary DICT1 square bracket open in double single quotes name close it DICT1 of single quotes name. Output will be DICT1 single quote name close VC Tech Education. This is all about Python dictionary. Next we are going to see about Next we are going to see about the sets. Sets are created by adding or removing elements from them, and all operations performed on sets in Python. A set is an unordered collection of data type that is irritable, mutable, and has no duplicate elements. Python set class represents the mathematical relation notation of a set. The major advantage of using a set as opposed to a list is that it has highly optimization methods for checking whether a specific element is contained in the set. This is based on a data structure known as a hash table. Set is a data structure related to hash table. Next comes to the frozen set. Python sets immutable objects only. Frozen sets Frozen sets are immutable objects that only support methods and operators that produce a result without accessing the frozen set or sets to which they are applied. Frozen sets are immutable objects that only support methods and operators that produce a result without accessing the frozen set or sets to which they are applied. Frozen sets are immutable objects that support methods and operators that produce the results without accessing the frozen sets or sets to which they are applied. So this is all about the Python sets and frozen sets. Python set is based on data structure. It's related to a hash table, whereas frozen sets are immutable objects that only support methods and operators that produce a result without accessing the frozen set or sets to which they are applied. So this is all about data types, where we all discussed regarding the numerical data types. Till now we discussed is numerical data types, string data types, then tuples, lists, and finally then dictionaries and sets. So we discussed all 6 components related to the data types, that is numerical data types, strings, tuples, lists, dictionaries and sets. Thank you one and all. Hope you all understood well. Thank you from Dr. Vijay Chandra Jayala. Thank you. Please share, subscribe and like the video and subscribe VC Tech Education. Thank you.